Your boy E-Dub, Dropper Showstopper. You know, I had the opportunity to watch a couple of the content creators that I follow. I had the opportunity to watch them and their take on this whole Tyreek Hill situation. I was kind of surprised. I was kind of surprised on their take and their outlook on the entire situation. So I felt the need to revisit it. I had to watch the video one more time because maybe, for whatever reason, maybe the way in which I saw it, maybe I missed something. So I had to go back and watch it a second time just to see. And no word of a lie, when I watched it a second time, I formed the exact same opinion as when I watched it the first time. So when I hear some of the guys that I really respect a lot, say that, they understand and they can see exactly what Tyreek Hill is saying and how we felt about the entire situation, it puzzled me a little bit. But that just reminds me that just because of the simple fact of the matter that, we rock with each other, we support each other, does not necessarily mean that we have to agree with each other all the time. We can humbly agree to disagree, and there's nothing wrong with that. So that being said, respectfully, for some of my content creators that I actually follow or whatever the case may be, I'm going to humbly disagree with some of your takes on the Tyreek Hill situation. And my reasoning for it is very, very simple and basic. Like I said before, you cannot be wrong and strong. Now, as far as I'm concerned, Tyreek Hill's entire handling of the situation from the jump was handled wrong. Plain and simple. So when you approach a situation handling it wrong, you can't be one to dictate the pace of how anything else plays out after that. I would have had a lot more respect for Tyreek Hill if after all the smoke had cleared, after he got arrested, after all of that, after the game when he scored the touchdown, because hey, you got to be a bad man to go through all that and still go to the game and score a touchdown. The man deserves credit for that. My take on it is, when you do an interview, at least be man enough to own your part in what took place. Don't sit there and play the innocent victim and make it seem like you have no idea why it went the way in which it did. Everybody within the sound of my voice knows if you give attitude to cops, nothing good could come out of that. Hey, how you doing? I'm speaking about the whole Tyreek Hill situation because I'm very surprised that a lot more people are not sharing the same opinion that I have. How you doing, Kanan? What's up? I'm very surprised that a lot more people don't have my opinion because the mere fact of the matter is, as far as I'm concerned, the reason why everything went the way in which it went was because Tyreek Hill himself took it upon himself to be he was being as defiant as he possibly could. Thank you very much. I'm really happy to hear that, my man. As far as I'm concerned, everybody knows if you give police officers attitude, there's a very good possibility that nothing positive is going to come out of that. I personally think that Tyreek Hill himself had a moment. I personally think that he's an individual that forgot the fact of the matter that he's, at the end of the day, he's an individual that got caught up in the limelight, thinking that because of who he is, He's untouchable. And unfortunately, he got an instant reminder. CT, how you doing? Hey, SK, I saw you write that comment 2 times before and I ignored it. So you decide to write it again? You think you're going to get anything out of it? Keep it moving, buddy. The only thing I have to say is a very simple fact of the matter, that Tyreek Hill, in your position, you have a lot of the younger generation looking up to you. Now, luckily, because of who you were, the worst thing that happened to you was you got drug out of the car and you got handcuffs put on you. What about those young guys that don't have your status? What do you think is going to happen to them if they turn around and give police officers that type of attitude? You're in a position right now where you could lead by example. Why not try that? It makes absolutely no sense to me whatsoever. And you watch if you watch the body cam from beginning to the end. Sorry to hear that. From beginning to end, you'll realize that he's an individual. He got caught on the cam speeding. They jumped on their motorcycle, they chased him, they stopped him for that reason, speeding. Now, let me ask you a question. Regardless of anything, they do have to talk to him. They have to communicate with him, right? His window is up. What were they supposed to do in order to get his attention? They didn't go there banging on his window like a madman. Yeah, I did marry my best friend, your mother. Great lady. SK, you're my bastard child. That's right. Your mom is my best friend, and I did end up marrying her. And the rest is history. We had an illiterate child, which was you. As I was saying, the window wasn't down. They walked over to your window. They knocked on the window. They weren't pounding on your window. They weren't doing anything belligerent. Yes, okay, there might have been one of the officers that he might have been a tad bit more aggressive. But if you notice, his aggressiveness only came out after you were the one that was being defiant. Because when a police officer gives anybody a direct order, whether we agree with it or disagree with it, we have no choice but to follow it. All I'm really trying to say is, Tyreek Hill, just own your part in everything that took place. Why? Because you have a younger generation that, like I said, there's a lot of them that look up to you. You got to think about what message you want to be sending to them. You want to let them know that, yes, when they get stopped by law enforcement, your best bet is to just do what they're asking you to do. And if you look at everything that they did with this particular individual, hey, there's a good possibility that not a lot of these guys knew that he's a football player. Not everybody knows who you are. So in their eyes, all they saw was a muscular black man in a very nice car refusing to follow direct orders. Exactly. And an individual like a Tyreek Hill, honestly speaking, for that traffic stop, all you had to do was just give them your license, your registration, and take the ticket. You could have probably even paid the ticket right there on the spot. So the reason for all of this, it never had to get to that kind of level. And I'll be honest with you, no word of a lie. They didn't really rough you up a lot. They pulled you out of the car and they handcuffed you. That was it. They weren't bending your hands. They weren't twisting. They weren't trying any of that type of stuff. None of that. I think maybe one of the reasons was because they knew that they were being filmed. It could very possibly be. That's right. That's right, man. Respect your daddy, SK. Now, I suggest you go wash the dishes and clean your room. All right? Do something constructive with yourself, buddy. Then come back and talk to me. That's exactly right. I am daddy. Tyreek Hill, the only thing I could ask you to do, my man, is just own your part in what took place and try to be a little bit more of a leader to the younger generation. Because like I said, they look up to you. As a football player, I think you're totally amazing. I am a daddy, yeah. And I just got an illegitimate kid right here. This SK individual. He's looking for a father figure. So, you know, hey, I got a little bit of time on my hands. I can spend some time. I'll bring him to the park. I'll play with him. Buy him some ice cream. Teach him how to pick up girls. Because obviously it looks like he has no idea how to. Up here trolling at this time of morning. I don't understand that. But hey, do you, buddy. Have fun. Just out of curiosity, SK, why do you write everything in threes? You write it one time, I'll see it. You're writing the same message 3 times. Is it, you okay? Yes, sir. Conclusions. Well, the bottom line, like I said before, man, Tyreek Hill, I want you to come out in the media. I want you to own what it was that you did. Go back, take a look at that body cam, look at the entire thing, look at where you went wrong, and own that. Because that's a message I think that the young kids could actually take something from. But trying to play this innocent victim like you did absolutely nothing and you don't know why it went southways, when a police officer gives you a direct order, you have no choice but to follow it. If you don't like it, contest it, go to court and fight it. Kanan, I really appreciate you. Thank you, man. Good looking out. Welcome, man. Double the Innocence appreciates it. That being said, I need all of you individuals out there to share, like, subscribe, and do me a favor if you can. If you see my illegitimate child SK out there anytime, give him a little bit of lunch money so he can go to McDonald's and buy himself a Happy Meal. I want each and every one of you guys to have yourself a blessed hump day, guys. Double the Innocence with your boy E-Dub is out. Watching from the Midwest. Hey, thank you very much. I appreciate you out there in the Midwest. Love you guys. And on a side note, I had the opportunity to watch that debate last night. Let me tell you something. I was very impressed with the way Mrs. Harris mollywopped that clown, in my eyes. Have yourself a blessed day, people.